think one of my biggest aha moments is in working with people to help them develop better relationships and recognizing that if I can help them to see something in the other person, the other team, the other organization that they can engage with, then I can enable them to invest in each other's success in the relationship, and that's where we hit gold dust. So that was an aha moment that came from a really difficult situation that I was facilitating the participants to resolve.
Sitting in a room with my colleagues talking about what are the values and principles by which we want to run this business, and having a big debate over the value of care. What does care mean to you? And as somebody who's always been very achievement orientated, very kind of goal orientated, outcome orientated, the idea that we were going to spend a lot of time talking about care and looking after people, it's kind of, I recognized that was different to me. That's not an experience I'd had before. And then to see how that value of care played out with clients, with colleagues, with everybody that we came in touch with over 25 years, it was a really fantastic lesson for me.
And it's related to Mike Hurst. So we were working together at Dixon's, and I felt a little bit as though I needed more. And I'd spoken to my boss, Jo, and said, look, I need something different. And she said, well, what I'd like you to do is speak to a coach. And she brought in Mike Hurst. And I remember sitting with Mike for quite some time in an office in Cardiff at the Dixon store. And he shared with me a little bit about what he was doing. But he asked me a question. Where do you want to be in 5 years? And quite frankly, I didn't know where I wanted to be within 5 minutes. But at the end of our session, I knew I wanted to be a coach, based on the fact that Mike had just asked such compelling questions and helped me set those goals and got me to think about what could I do. And I went back to my boss at Dixon's and said, I'm not leaving now, but I've got a plan. And I will be leaving.
must have been really when I was age about 13. I left home to go to boarding school to study classical ballet, went off to the Royal Ballet School. It was a moment of difficulty for me. I was leaving home. I'd entered into a new group of young people, a new group of friends that I was to be growing up with. They'd been at the school for several years already. I was joining them, and straight away I was comparing myself unfavourably to those other kids. But I had a fantastic teacher at the time, and I think one day he asked me to stay behind, and all the other boys left the ballet class. I'd been thinking that my time was up. I've been thinking that within this competitive environment I didn't have a place. But he leaned over and said to me, I'm going to keep picking on you, I'm going to keep focusing on you, but I'm doing that because I think you can be a really special dancer.